My name's John Sprague with Onward Property Partners, and really anybody who knows me knows that I really enjoy a good whiteboard session. So what we're going to be doing is bringing Whiteboard Wednesdays to you every single Wednesday. We're going to discuss a business concept that's helped us out, and frankly it can be woven into your personal life as well. And you know, the first thing that really kind of hit my radar is that I'm hearing the word overwhelmed a lot right now. And actually did a little research on this, and it's actually the use of the word overwhelmed has been on the rise since the 1960s. And so, you know, what do you guys think that the reason for that is? What do you think would cause us to say overwhelmed more now than we did 40 or 50 years ago, 60 years ago?
Faster pace of life.
Faster pace of life. Internet, lots of distractions, right? Yeah, so, and what's interesting too is that if you look at the definition of overwhelmed, is to cause somebody to have too many things to focus on. It's a paraphrasing a little bit with that. And so my thought around this is that maybe that's the smoke where there's fire. Is that the smoke or the fire? And so I'm pretty sure that that's the smoke. And so if you look about it around in the real estate world, I've noticed that we use the word busy as a badge. It's a badge of honor. I'm busy. And you know, culturally, if we're busy, we're perceived to be successful, all right, to some sort of degree. And that's not always true, is it?
Yeah.
No, not at all. So, you know, and the other thing too that's making a big rise of popularity is multitasking, right? Folks will actually say nobly, I'm excellent at multitasking.
See it in resumes.
Right, it's amazing. You actually see that in resumes. Now the reality is that it's a computer terminology, and really what we're doing is we're switch tasking, and that creates more distraction for us, right? And less focus. So my thought around this is that maybe it's not so much that we're overwhelmed, but we're unsure of what our real and true priorities are. Does that make sense? Right? Because here's the thing. Now, I've got to ask you, a lot of us will say, I don't have time for this or I don't have time for that. Now, the reality is, if a loved one called you right now and said, I've got to go to the emergency room because of any number of reasons, would you be able to find time to get them there? Because they're a priority, right? So the reality is, if we always have time for the things that are a priority for us. Now, in our world, as far as our professional world, and even sometimes in our personal world, we don't have a lot of clarity of it around exactly what that is. A lot of folks will dive into that and say it's the big why. We talk a lot about that at Keller Williams, what the big why is. And you'll see folks like Simon Sinek. He starts with the big why. And what's important about that is that if I don't know what's the ultimate goal for me and my purpose, whether that be professionally or personally, then how am I able to reverse engineer where my big rocks are, what my priorities are, what are the things that I need to focus on? There's the concept of making sure we win the day, right? With the daily activities that lead to the results we want to go. Well, again, if we don't know where we're going, how do we know how to put that map together? So one of the things that I thought was really interesting, Simon Sinek has a really cool concept called the golden circle. Have you guys ever heard of this? All right, so it's new, this is good. All right, so what he talks about here is you've got three different concepts here. Okay, and so the first one is the what. Now, through his research, what he's found is that every single organization, they know what they do. So what is it we do here at Onward Property Partners?
Buy something?
Yeah, we help clients buy, sell, or invest real estate, right? So now the next thing is how. The majority of organizations have an idea of how they do that, right? So what we want to make sure that we're doing is we're bringing a higher level of standards when it relates to our client interaction to make sure that they have the highest and best customer experience. Make sense, right? Is that pretty accurate with what we're up to?
Yeah.
Right. So now, then what's the why? And Simon said he'll say that very few organizations truly understand why they're doing what they're doing. And he uses Apple as an example of this. He says Apple, they want to disrupt the industry and change the way we interface with technology. And the way they do that is by having cool, user-friendly, easy application type of devices. And then what's the what? the what at the time it's transitioned. It's gone from what was the micro computer?
The iPods.
iPods, right? Remember it started. The craze started with the iPods,
Yeah.
right? And then it went to what? It was the iPhone, and then it went to what? iPads, and now everything, right?
Yeah.
So what's interesting here is that he also talks about how Gateway. Do you guys remember Gateway computers? Well, Gateway, they didn't really have a lot of clarity around their why. And they talked about how Gateway, they tried to get in, they had every means and every resource to be a power player in the flat screen TV arena, but people didn't truly understand how Gateway, a computer organization, was going to go ahead and get into the flat screen. Even though there was a lot of parallels there, right? But you've seen Apple, because of the why and people relating to that why, you see Apple being able to have folks to say, all right, you know what, I see you as an iPod, and now I can see the iPad, an iPhone, and what's next. I'm sure voice recognition and voice first technology is hot on their market right now. And people are following that, and they're growing with the why, right? Further than that, Simon Sinek talks about how Martin Luther King Jr., he didn't go out there and say, I have a plan. What did he say? He had a why, right? And so our why here is that we want to disrupt this industry. We want to make sure that we're rejecting the status quo of what we currently see the real estate customers getting right now. We believe that the customers deserve a better experience. And so what I look for is not only what we're doing on a professional level, but on a personal level, to make sure that we're in alignment with what we're looking to do here, right? So how do we find what our personal why is? Because that, honestly, guys, that's bigger than what we're doing here in the real estate world, is our personal why. So one of the things that we can do, Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about spending a day at an assisted facility, a nursing home. And what he talks about there is that the individuals that are nearing the end, they know that they recognize that their time is limited, and they have great clarity of what they've appreciated, any regrets that they've got, and what's truly important. And now he says that's the selfish thing that you can get, and obviously there's things that you can give back there too. Simon Sinek, he's also got on his website, Start With Why, a phenomenal program that you can walk through to go ahead and bring clarity around what your personal why is. And it's all about finding alignment there. So I'd make an appeal to anybody watching and all of us here to spend 5 minutes. And I'll tell you, this is one of those things, it's a big, hairy question. What's my purpose, right? Well, a lot of people wrestle with this their entire life, and they're 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and they don't have clarity around that. The reality is all work expands at the time allotted. Therefore, give yourself a small amount of time to bring clarity around this. Over the next week, I'd love for you to see a little bit of progress there, bring clarity around your personal why and how it aligns with what you're currently doing to contribute to society. And I'll tell you, we're looking forward to deliver more concepts and different ideas to help you grow not only professionally but personally. And so please tune in. Every Wednesday we're going to be out here with our Whiteboard Wednesdays, and look forward to